site, we need to take action by locking this down and collaborating with the school and get some resources here to get our arms around that, and that's what happened. So another fortunate thing that day was our special teams lieutenant working. Lieutenant Cameron handles the SWAT negotiation, EOD team, that type of stuff, and he's excellent in critical incidents. So he gets folded into that, and all of the wheels are in motion, which results in a massive police presence immediately there. Because like I said, the time frame indicated that this had just been posted. The geotag indicated that the person was at or near the school. 2 pictures with 2 firearms, and the words, verbalizing school shooter. So you saw a massive response there. The things that happened immediately right then is the initial lockdown procedure, requesting to get fire and medical staged in the area, getting anybody identified in the class, get any identification of a person in the classroom that could be responsible for this. So as the lockdowns go, they're locked in rooms. And we start working on the identity of the person, because if they're in a room, we need to get obviously to that room. We had a training class going on a completely unrelated topic, but there were SWAT operators in that class and our PIO in that class. So we pull them out of that to fill those roles. What we do with our SWAT operators when they're not formed as a team is we put them in place as element leaders. So we established emergency action teams at different levels and different locations of the building, and they're all led by SWAT operators. Coordinating with our allied resources, so the Sheriff's Office and federal law enforcement, because this thing can grow immediately. We established an external perimeter, keeping people on the outside from getting in, keeping people on the inside from escaping if they're suspect. The next immediate priority after that is to make sure we have rescue task force lined up, and that is coordinating with our fire medical people. Our fire partners have body armor and ballistic helmets, and they can be moved into what we call a warm zone, not necessarily where shooting is occurring, but if we have victims that are inside the school, but we believe are not an imminent threat, trying to get them escorted in to provide them emergency medical care. All that stuff is happening just, I won't say simultaneously, but quickly, one on top of the other. When all those pieces are being brought into play, there's kind of another action going on in the background. That's the investigative piece, figuring out who it is. So that is generally coordinated through the detective division. We have people who are working in digital forensics, our Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force officer, and other investigators who can work on things like personnel sources, trying to find witnesses, families, friends who can give us intel. So working technology, working social media, interviewing people, they are trying to determine who this person is and where this person might be. It's kind of all going on, at the same time. What you see is obviously the visible response to the facility, but there's important work going on behind that. We kept the kids in place while that was going on until we could get some type of actionable intelligence. So it was pretty quickly determined. We thought that the person had left the area, but we had identified a possible location to go to. So we kept everybody in place here because we didn't know yet until we searched that secondary location. So the location was outside the city limits. So as I mentioned earlier, we had already looped in with the Sheriff's Office. So we brought Sheriff's resources and city resources, and we went to that location and searched it. We identified some people there, and the suspect we were looking for was not there. At that point, kind of leads had dried up. So I linked up with our tactical commander, Lieutenant Cameron, and Principal Miller at Hellgate High School. He got a great one there, and enjoyed working with him. It's as much as you can enjoy that incident. But he was excellent, and I said, I think we should get these kids out of here because we're kind of chasing an unknown right now. We didn't know where this person was. And he was all in on that. And so we started to coordinate a plan with them. The principal gave excellent, timely, detailed instruction throughout their PA system, and we coordinated that, and we started to release them floor by floor. We had a plan with the kids that if they had safe transportation, their own transportation, go home and get back with your parents. If you did not have a way to leave, or you did not have some safe alternative with a friend or family member, that we had reinforced what we owned the gymnasium. So we double swept the gymnasium, made sure it was completely safe, And then we brought the kids into that room to wait until we could arrange to have them released by bus. Most of them came there by bus and needed to be released and sent home by bus too. So as that went along, then it went really appropriately, really smoothly, shockingly smoothly. On a side note, some really nice kids. We had dozens of kids just thanking us for being there, thanking us for handling it, which is really grateful because you know, I feel like, geez, they're probably kind of, they're upset by this or put off by this, and it was, it meant a lot when we got to have those interactions that they appreciated. After they were all moved out of that, we moved into kind of a stand down mode where we communicated with Principal Miller about what he wanted done with the building. He did not request what we would call a hard search. Hard search is foot by foot, every level, from left to right, top to bottom, to ensure there's nobody there. He felt comfortable that we were okay, and we didn't need to do that. We did a final sweep, and we cleared the building then and turned it back over to him. And we stood down and moved into really an investigative mode, which led to you know, identifying the person at the shopping center, and later on that afternoon we took her into custody. So how do we get to that? It's been about 10 years, really. It's been about a decade of preparation. So in 2013,